Welcome back to D20Gears. Today's topic is tracking turns in combat. I'm going to demonstrate the system I use in my campaigns using just spreadsheets. This is based 100% on existing software, so you can start using it right away. If you find that in your campaign tracking what's going on in combat is a serious pain point, I hope you'll find some relief here. Then I'll talk a little bit about how this turn tracking system relates to the software that we're building for D20Gears. So, what do we need from a turn tracker? Number one has to be that everyone can see whose turn it is, and when their turn is coming up. Paper and pen don't cut it. Verbal reminders are inefficient. We need a shared, always up-to-date visual display. Number two, it helps us enforce action limits. It keeps everyone honest about how much their characters can do in a round. The rules can be confusing, especially in 3.5, with its bizarre salad bar of free actions versus swift actions versus immediate actions, quickened spells, and 5-foot steps. Good use of a tracking system can help a lot. Also, both 3.5 and 5e allow actions to be taken on someone else's turn in some form, within limits. We need a way to track whether a character has reached its limit for the round. Number three, a turn tracker helps us track short-term and recurring effects with precision. You need to know whether an effect is active, not just in which round it ends, but exactly when it ends relative to the turn order. Was Dag the Barbarian still under the influence of Marin's Bless spell when he swung his axe? And recurring effects like Acid Arrow call for round-by-round reminders, otherwise they often get skipped. The turn tracker can help with this. Number four, it supports mid-combat changes to turn order. Now in 3.5, the characters can voluntarily change their position in the turn order, and this complicates tracking of short-term and recurring effects. An effect that damages you on your turn shouldn't be put off by delaying your turn. 5e tried to sidestep this by removing the possibility altogether, but many 5e DMs find it useful to allow some limited changes to the turn order. In any case, our system should support them cleanly. That brings us to the demo portion of this video, in which I show you how to accomplish all of these goals with with a Google Sheet. Here's a sample combat spreadsheet. You see that rows represent combatants, while columns represent rounds. Simple, right? You'll notice that the header row and first columns are frozen. This helps us keep our place when scrolling around a really big combat sheet. You accomplish that by selecting the row or column and selecting Freeze from the View menu. The DM shares a link to the document, and requirement number one, everyone can see whose turn it is covered. When combat starts, you create an empty combat sheet by copying a tab that you have created for that purpose. Give your new combat a memorable name, then add a row for each combatant. Enter initiative roles. Sort on the initiative column Z to A to establish order. In case of ties, add decimal values to break the ties. Then sort again. As players take actions, record them by entering code characters in each cell. In 3.5, this might include a A for standard action, M for move or move equivalent action, big A for full round action, etc. In 5e, you need to track actions, bonus actions, and movement amount, as it allows movement to be broken into segments more liberally than in 3.5. How do we track a short-term or recurring effect? When one enters the mix, add a new row to your sheet labeled with the effect name, just as if the effect were a character. Mark the expiration round with an X. This pseudo-turn acts as a reminder and maintains the precise timing of the expiration or the recurring effect, even if combat order shifts. When the effect ends, whether due to timeout, loss of concentration, or whatever, just delete the row. When a character reacts on someone else's turn, add a code for the type of action to the next cell in that character's row to help track limits. For example, if Dag the Barbarian takes an opportunity attack on Goblin number 2's turn, we'll remember that when it rolls around to Goblin number 4's turn. Similarly, in my campaigns, I use a V for verbal code to track character speech during the round. I want to allow characters to speak when it's not their turn, as in, watch out! But I don't want it to get out of hand. The rules concerning speech in combat are vague, so I rely on the sheet to make it clear to everyone that the character has spoken enough for the round. If the speech happens on someone else's turn, the code goes into the next round's cell. We've covered everyone can see whose turn it is, enforcing action limits, and tracking short-term and recurring effects. That brings us to changes in turn order. If your campaign allows it, a player can, on their turn, delay, voluntarily dropping in the turn order by saying, for example, I delay action until after the rogue goes. Again, that's part of the basic 3.5 rules. Using a sheet, shifting order is easy. Select the row, drag it to the new position, and drop it into place. Done. Readied actions are a little different. They are permitted under both 5e and 3.5, but the rules differ slightly. In either system, Ginger the Elf can, on their turn, announce, I get ready to fire my bow as soon as one of the goblins moves. This ends Ginger's turn. I put a big R into the current cell to track the readied action. Then it's up to Ginger's player to remember to interrupt the gameplay when the condition that triggers the readied action takes place. Ginger gets to take the readied action immediately, even interrupting another character's turn to do so. In 5e, that's the end of the story. But in 3.5, Ginger's turn moves to a place in the order just before the turn of the character whose action was interrupted. As before, we drag and drop the row. That concludes the demo. I will link to a sample Google Sheets document in the description below. You can copy it and try out this system at your next session. Let's finish by talking about D20Gears. How will D20Gears manage turn order? The short answer is just like this. What would be the point of building software that does exactly what Google Sheets already does? Google Sheets are fast, flexible, and accessible. In version 1 of D20Gears, we'll have bigger fish to fry. We want to track character stats, buffs and debuffs, situational penalties and bonuses, and a lot more. It's the classic engineering trade-off, build versus buy. Or in the case of virtually free software like Google Sheets, it's more like build versus borrow. Acquire what you can and only build what you need to. Now, here's the kicker. D20Gears will integrate with your Google Sheet using the Google Sheets API. Our AI assistant will be able to read the sheet and make inferences from it. It will even be able to update the spreadsheet at the beck and call of the DM. Imagine that the DM types or says, start round 11 to the assistant, and the new column instantly appears. Or types in, Ginger's turn now comes just before Goblin number 1, and the row immediately moves. All possible with existing technology. In the meantime, try this system out at your table. Let us know how it goes. Or if you have a system of your own that you'd like to tell us about, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned as we continue to build and borrow.